Hi. How systematic our SAP investment are? To what extent the process of SAP justify its name? For an introductory purpose, we would say what is meant by an SAP. Systematic investment plan. That is, irrespective of the market, economy, performance of the fund, flow for personal finance, policy changes by the government, investors are keep infusing a certain sum of money on a particular date. That is what is called SIP. We would go for an example. A parent got a child. He wanted to give the best education which is available in the town for him. For the purpose, he made a research, taken the list of the schools which are available, spoke with the parents, students, and even the teachers who is available in the industry for years. And after this research, he selected 2-3 schools, and he himself visited there, seen the facility, spoke with the authorities concerned, and selected a particular school which is more suitable for his children, for his best education, for his best future. But the twist is, once the child started to go for school, he kept by himself. He kept by himself and not showed any interest on his studies, on his behavioral developments. He doesn't know whether he is having any problem with his teachers, fellow students, or any kind of threats or any kind of abuse in the school, outside the school, in the bus, or whether the child having any kind of learning disabilities, about his interest in the extracurricular activities, or over the time whether he is in the influence of any substance or pupil or any kind of ideologies. And over the time 12 years, 14 years finish, the child pass out. What would be the future of the child? Or we cannot say the future of, because it depends upon many matters, many factors. So what the father can expect from his child? Obviously the answer is he cannot expect anything from him, because he didn't involve in the time which wanted his action and his guidance. So at this time, while he passed out, he cannot expect anything from the child. Someone call this kind of style, this kind of parenting as a systematic parenting? Obviously no. Because people would say that father was not at all interested on his studies. Father was not at all interested on him. That's the reason he didn't involve at all on his studies and behavioral developments. Now we come back to the mutual fund. As far as the mutual fund is concerned, this kind of irrespective behaviors in investments, irrespective of the market, irrespective of the economy, irrespective of the fund's performance, policy changes by the government over the time, investors are keep infusing, and we call it as systematic investment plan. We would go in details. Before that, in this video, what I am trying to convey is the importance of active participation by an investor in an SIP. If I could success in that one, kindly like, share and subscribe my channel. We would go in detail. The most important factor, the stock market. Stock market would take many forms over the time. Sometimes it can be bullish, bearish, volatile, or even stagnant. In the year 2020, we have seen all these forms at its extreme form, at its extreme level. If you are taking the whole year 2020, we can divide it as 3 phases. The phase 1, pre-COVID level. Phase 2, the bear rules, a price bound correction. Phase 3, quick return of the bull. Phase 1, pre-COVID time. In January 17, 2020, Sensex was 44,000 with a P ratio of 26. After a couple of years of underperformance compared to the global market, investors in Indian stock market was much confident, and with a positive sentiment were keep investing, even though there was a news about the spreading of COVID-19 pandemic. But few investors taken a call. They made their asset allocation based on their risk profile. If their equity part is highly valued, they disinvest a part of that and invested in debt fund or even in gold. So that was phase 1. Phase 2, Beer's rule. COVID appears in the stock market. People started to sell panically across the world. From February 25th until March 23rd, in just 18 trading days, Sensex lost 14,300 points, 35.5% of the total value. And the P ratio came down to 16 range from 26, which was in the January. And few people taken it as an opportunity and started to buy in every dip. And these people got exhausted while the bear taking the full charge. But the rest, few, those who could do the asset allocation as per their risk profile, could enjoy a decent return from their other part of the assets. They could control their adrenaline and stay calm in a disciplined form. That is what happened in phase 2. Phase 3, quick revival of the bull. A portion of the investors, even after the March 23rd, saved away from the market by thinking or by expecting more bottom of the market. And another portion of investors thought that it would be a time-bound correction rather than a price-bound correction, which would take more time for the revival. Because the economy became standstill because of the low or lack of consumer demand and lack of supply chain and even the workforce in the market. But the other few realized that the COVID-19 pandemic and its subsequent lockdown didn't do any kind of harm for the core infrastructure of the economy. Like in a natural calamity or a war does. And the central bank across the globe acted so fastly, they reduced the interest rate and made sure about the higher amount of liquidity and the stimulus packages by the global governments and the quick revival of the corporate earnings. All these resulted for a V-shaped return of the bull. And those investors who identified this, they could do a reallocation of their assets, taken a portion of their bond to the equity, taken a portion of their gold to the equity. Those who managed to add this way could get a good return for their fortune. And after analyzing all these three phases, what we could understand, the key for the time is asset allocation or the reallocation based on our risk profile, which is missing for a typical SIP investor. Economy, the real platform of the stock market, the benchmark index of the stock market. We can go in details to find out the key performance indicators of the economy. GDP. The Center for Economics and Business Research predicts that the Indian economy would grow, the GDP would grow in the year 2021 by 9% and 22 by 7%. In this growth trajectory, the economy would beat the UK economy by 2025, Germany in 2027, and even Japan in 2030. So this is the future prediction. We can just come back to the recent past performance of the Indian economy. There we can see a fiscal deficit, the difference between the revenue income and the revenue expenditure, that rose to 10.35 lakh crore. That means while the revenue income was just 8 lakh crore, the expenditure rose to 19 crore. Out of that, the capital expenditure, the expenditure which incurred in the infrastructure, that came down only 12%, that is just 2 lakhs crore. And the first 2 quarters, direct tax receipt also gone down like minus 22%. quite disgusting. But while we come to the current scenario, the current performance, we've seen that the gross service tax, the GST tax collection in the December rose to 1.15 lakhs, which is the highest after the rollout of the GST in July 2017. So we can go in detail which factors resulted for this stunning performance. Obviously, the action by the government. The government initiated case against almost 7,000 entities and arrested almost 180 people, including some chartered accountants, some company secretaries, and even some directors of companies. And these people were jailed for the last 40 to 50 days. By all these actions, the government given a strong message that no more tax evasion on GST is accepted in the current scenario. So all this resulted for a stunning performance in the GST collection, and the import customs tax contributed almost 26% of the total GST collection in December. So this was the case in GST. Another important factor in the economy is the FDI, foreign direct investment. India had in the first two quarters almost $30 billion, and Union government is expecting another $100 billion in the coming couple of years. And the government taken many stringent actions to make sure it happened. The Prime Minister himself made some beautiful pitch to the global companies to take the advantage of the tax regime and the actions which you taken in favor of the foreign direct investment. And the current scenarios in the world helped India to make it as a manufacturing hub of the world over the China by improving the trade relations with the US and other Western world. Non-performing assets in the banking sector is an area which develops a concern in the current year, because RBI expects the non-performing assets would rise to the level of 12.5% in the current year. The loan moratorium and its subsequent loan restructuring may result the increase in the area of non-performing assets. And some pessimists believe that it can be rose to the area of even 15% or even 20%, which is a growing concern and is a major cause for the underperformance in the banking sector compared to the other benchmark index. Sectoral imbalance. Performance of the sectors never been in the same pace, whether it is in the bull or the bearish market. These basic nature of the stock market increasing the necessity of having sectoral fund in our portfolio. The role of the sectoral fund is to enhance the return potential of our portfolio in line with our risk nature. In the year 2021, the GDP is expected to have a growth rate of 9%, which would have a wonderful year ahead for the left-out sectors in the year 2020 in relation to the economic downturn. Cyclical sectors like metal, oil and gas, infra, service and discretionary sectors like entertainment, travel and tourism, auto, hotel. These are the sectors as believed to lead the market in 2021. But it can be difficult to find out a stock which has got a less intrinsic value, because in the last year or in the current time we are seeing even the broader market is highly priced. So selection of the market can be the key to have a spectacular return in the sector, in the spectral fund section. So as an example to say the importance of having the sectoral fund in our portfolio, we would select the most high performing, the most 10 high performing funds from the mutual fund. And as far as the real estate industry is concerned, policy support and its fast implementation is critical for a sector which is underperforming for the last 5 years. Because this sector has got the potential to become a dark horse for the coming years, either in physical or the financial form. Once the capital expenditure for the public infrastructure is in line, the private capital expenditure would follow that one in a way to take the advantage of low priced, low interest and high liquidity market potential. In a close watch, we can see all these funds are from two sectors, pharma and technology. These list of high performing mutual fund underlining the importance of having sectoral mutual fund in our portfolio, even though the entry and the exit are the key in taking the maximum advantages from the sectoral fund. Budget and policy making. Budget 2021 is going to be an early trigger in the stock market because relaxation in the COVID restriction and the revival of the economy is more or less priced in the market. Progressive policy changes and the support for the ailing small scale and medium scale manufacturing industries and increased level of capital expenditure would have a positive spirit in the market. And the policy measures like performance-based incentive schemes by the union government is expected to have a major impact in the Indian manufacturing sectors. And the momentum of the construction activities in the current year is expected to sustain in the coming years as well. For example, the construction activities, the national highway construction pace for the first 8 months in the current year had been in the pace of almost double than the previous years. And the medium and heavy commercial vehicles, which is directly proportional to these kind of construction activities and mining, is supposed to have the same momentum in the coming year as well. India has got a great democratic and a democratic dividend, a combo which no country can offer. And the third factor which we want to discuss over here along with the market and economy is the over-regulations in mutual fund. We might have seen that, we might have come across many regulations by the SEBI over the mutual fund, which would tell a typical SIP investor to be more active for getting a return which he wanted. A recent development was the restrictions by the SEBI over a mutual fund distributor not to advise his clients on his portfolio management. If a client has got any doubt, any queries about his portfolio management, mutual fund distributor is no more allowed to do that one. At the same time, an advisor, a SEBI approved advisor, cannot sell any mutual fund products to his clients anymore. So these restrictions are blocking the reaching of the mutual fund products to a wider public. At the same time, we might have come across the restrictions on the multi-cap mutual funds. The wisdom of the fund manager to have the small cap, medium cap and large cap on his wish to allocate the fund on his wish has been restricted, and the restrictions on these multi-cap funds made the fund unattractive in the sector. And another restrictions like restricting the fund managers to have more than 10% of a particular stock in his portfolio and blocking him to take the potential of a particular stock which he find out. So these all are the developments, these all are the restrictions asking an SIP investor to be more active, to be more vigilant instead of being a passive investor. Instead of being a passive investor for getting a return which he wanted. The inferences after the analysis which we had about the Indian economy resembles the weaknesses or the strength. Whether it is in terms of direct tax collection, in terms of non-performing assets, high rate of inflation and high rate of essential commodities prices, for example the crude oil and the metals, the non-capability of the Indian government in terms of high rate of capital expenditure, a higher rate of stimulus packages, all these resembles the weaknesses over the strength. Then why the foreign institutional investors finding out the Indian economy as their favorite investment destination? The one and only reason is the capability of the Indian government, the intention of the Indian government to take the Indian economy from the unorganized sector to the organized sector. The unaccountable wider economic activities to the accountable economic activities. Whether it was the demonetization or the fast implementation of the goods and service tax GST and even the farmers bill. The intention of the Indian government was so clear. The message which the Indian government given to the global investors was so clear India is moving from the organized sector, from the unorganized sector to the organized sector. And the global institutional community, global investors community, taken it as an opportunity, taken that in the right sense, and finding out their opportunity in the Indian economy. That's what happened in the long-term perspective. While we come to the short-term perspective, there we can see some needs for the changes in the investment strategy for the retail investors or for the SIP investors. The first kind of strategic changes which we can consider is the growth strategy and the value stock strategy. Growth strategy means finding out the stocks which has got the future potential. And we can see for the last 1 decade, the growth strategy is outperforming the value strategy. But why in 2021, once the economic activities comes to the normalcy and the essential commodities are in high price and there is all chance to be sustainable in the future as well, then the chance of the there we can see a silver lining over the chance of the value stock strategy. And another strategy which we can consider is the large cap, mid cap, small cap. We can see that from the 2018 until 2020, the large cap outperformed the small cap and mid cap. But while we are considering the current scenario, we can see there are many factors which is favorable for the mid cap and the small cap. The major one is after this pandemic, we might have seen that a large pool of investors coming to the industry to taste the advantage of investing. And out of these investors, a large pool of people were able to take a higher amount of risk. So obviously they can try for the mid cap and small cap. And another favorable factor for the mid cap and small cap is the availability of these funds in a favorable price. Then if you go for another kind of strategy which we consider to change is the passive and active investing. We might have seen for a long time the outperformance of the passive investing over the active investing. The main reason is the major 10 fund in the Nifty outperform the rest. And we've seen that when the rest of those funds diverged from the top performing Nifty funds. But while the small cap and mid cap outperform the Nifty, the active kind of investing is likely to be emerge as a winner. And one more thing which we need to keep in mind is no stocks, no company, no sector or no market would be uniform in terms of their performance. It can be keep changing. And I strongly believe that by this analytical video I could convey the importance of the active participation by an SIP investor in his investment process. And we have come across the policy changes and strategic changes which we need to have to get returns which we wanted. And moreover, over the time we will be an expert and we will be in a position to look after our investment ourselves directly to the stock market instead of going through a mutual fund, or we'll be in a position to advise our children, advise our relatives or advise our friends. So if you could feel like it is an informative, kindly like my channel, share and subscribe. I Abraham Joseph signing off until I come with a new video. Thank you.